Hey everybody, this is Liz from Augusta. I am here at my humble office here in Blaine, Washington at Command Center, and I just wanted to hop on and give you a little bit of a report about our trip to Louisville, Kentucky from our team here. And I realized when we started planning this that it's about 5 companies of us that were represented that went down to Louisville for our summit for all of the public and then our conference for our franchisees. So it was actually the media team, Augusta, the bookkeeping company we have, the tax company we have, and Copilot. So there were 5 companies of us represented, and I think there were 12 or 14 of us that went, and it was cool. So there were people in our group on our team that haven't even been with us for a year, so they've never done an event with us or planned or um, just executed the whole thing with all of our guests. So it was a new experience for them. All of us had designated roles that we were to take care of on the trip. So we all met at 2 in the morning and we drove in all separate cars, went from Bellingham, Washington to Seattle. And then we were all parts of the plane, all split up. And it was quite an interesting trip. And then when we got down there, I had sent like a to-do list to all the GMs that were coming, some of the franchisees, and I'm so thankful that they were willing to just jump in and help and start preparing because it was Sunday evening and we were starting Monday morning. So that is the awesome thing about being part of Augusta Nation is everybody pitches in and helps. So we design our own banners, our swag, everything we bring is all Augusta made or Copilot made or um, any of the other things we do. We produce all of that ourselves and then we go and take care of the event ourselves. And every year it's gotten better and better. So this year we chose speakers that were more in our community, landscape community, and other small businesses, so that it was really a diverse group. Some of them had never had the opportunity to speak in public or they're not considered a speaker. But we thought that it would be nice to represent multiple different kinds of business owners and GMs. And so, just to let you know a little bit, Mike did 8 keynotes. Pat Clark spoke, EJ McCoy, Jim Houston, and Tori Laura. He is the one who does our websites, and it was wonderful to meet him. Mike has worked with him for 5 years, and it was the first time he had ever met him there. So that was pretty cool. Will and Larissa Kelly. Um, who else do we have? Mike Callahan. And some of them spoke more than once. Dan Ralphs. He's a fan fave. And we had Yard Dogs. That was cool. And Riley Potoshnik, Jonathan Potoshnik's son, Ben Gonzalez, and Sean Spencer. And we also had Brian Fullerton. So some are more YouTube influencers, just, that the people love to watch and to be a part of. So every year it's different. Next year we have some plans. I told Mike I wanted one day, like one day before we started totally planning next year. And I wanted one day on Monday that we didn't talk about all of our plans and what we were going to do and start the whole process. And he came over to my desk during the day with his laptop and he's like, "Hey, I want to show you this. They responded about this place we were thinking about getting next year." And I'm like, "Haha, I told you couldn't go one day for me to catch up on anything before we started planning next year." So we're always thinking of the community and how we can be of support of them throughout the year. It was super cool to have all the franchisees. We did a dinner for them. And then the next day we went to another location and it was a church actually, so it was kind of interesting to have us all in the sanctuary. And then we had different speakers that were franchisees speak, and that was really nice. It's great for other franchisees to hear each other. But the really cool thing is some of these people have never met each other. They don't even know each other exists except by names, maybe on Facebook. And some of them have WhatsApp groups they're on, but those WhatsApp groups don't even usually happen till they've all met. So it was neat to see faces to names and for all of them to get to be together. So doing a dinner with them the night before, that's really great. It's like a meet and greet of each other. And then also then just having a time just for the franchisees. So we did half day this year, and we love to do a full day for them and just focus on them next year, and then also do something for all of the community. So we have lots of good things that we're already planning because we couldn't wait one day. And so we do better. It gets better every year. So as we get more reps and more practice, it'll be better and better. So highlights and things that I know we need to work on in the future. I would say um, everything about being with the franchisees is always a highlight, and to see them and to share and get pictures with them. And, we go through stuff with them all throughout the year. And so it's really awesome to touch base and be able to hug each other and know we've been through some stuff together. And anybody who's taken a risk to be with us at Augusta as we grow and change, it's not like they're walking into a fully established 20-30 year company. They're coming into something that we are building, right in the process of building. So it takes a lot of trust and confidence of them in us, and we are hyper aware of that and very careful about everything we do and say and all the moves we make, because we're so respectful of them and feel like we're partners with them building something great. So I would say the highlight of the time, though, was getting to go to dinner with Dr. Cashy and his wife Desiree. um, Before we had left, they had contacted Mike and said, "Hey, we want to come to your conference." And we had no idea why they would want to do that or take the time. They're, quite busy. And we feel really like, why would they even want to come to our event? So, um, Dr. Cashy and Mike had all of their coaching all the way up till the day of, and then we got to meet them the first night at the airport. Actually, we saw them, and then again the next day he came for Mike's keynotes, and we got him a hotel room. And so then she runs her business virtually, so she's able to run it from anywhere. So she was running her business and doing her calls and everything from the hotel room, and then he would come down for Mike's keynotes and then go back and do his other calls and stuff too. So they were both just working right along while they were at the thing, but he would stand in the back and was very engaged and respectful. And what I really enjoyed about them, I'll just tell you, at the dinner, we put him and Mike across from each other so they could communicate. And right away, Dr. Cashy, he would turn to me. I was beside him, and he said, "Oh, so how has Mike been changing, or how do you think he's changed, or from all that he's implemented?" And so I was able to tell him the changes that we had already made in the business because of his coaching, things that I was vicariously learning off of Mike's coaching that I had already changed. And just he's just curious. He loves people. He loves the study of people. Um, on another day, he during the different breaks of the speaking, he came into the room where the different speakers and our team were having lunch and stuff, and he just sat there and chatted with us while we ate. And I kind of challenged him a little bit on P for P and kind of what he was going to be going over with Mike. That was fun. Easy to talk to, genuine. What I observed when it was his wife, him, and another guy that had been with Jim Lunch, and then another sales guy that had been with Jim Lunch. The dinner was with them. And so I noticed that Dr. Cashy and his wife had very high respect for each other. So it's one thing, they love each other, but just an incredible respect, almost awe of each other, I would say. Like, joking around or whatever, but respecting each other in the roles that they play in their businesses, in their life. They are a lover of people. They came to dinner with us. They are already making plans to have dinner with some of their other people that were with us. having breakfast with them already. And she let me know how they had met. He used to live in a cave. And she had told me about the first time they met, that she was like, that's the man I could marry. And then she told me a little bit about that story. So they were remarkable people in that they're great communicators and they care for people. He is wise, but I'm not going to say the word humble. I would say there's not a lot of ego there. A person has to have self confidence, but he was curious to ask questions, but also he just loves to share and give and talk. And so he would start telling me about something, and he'd be talking away, and then he'd go, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to go down a rabbit's hole there. Oh, I hope I didn't talk too long." Or, it was great. And his relationship with his wife was awesome. She was able to just like pat him on the arm. And he's like, "Oh, okay, sorry if I'm talking too much about that." So for me, that was really the highlight. I came to give and give and give, and that was my plan. And it was super nice to have, one dinner where we could give there and answer their questions and chat, but also we were able to feel like we could get some benefit from it too. It was very nice. Um, so anytime with the franchisees, like I said, is awesome. But the whole community coming together, whether people were in lawn care or what kind of business they were in, I think it's important because what I see is at the very beginning, when I started the event on that morning, Lee and I were the MCs and we split up the days together. But at the beginning, it was just to point out, okay, especially when you have speakers that come from all over the place, some of them don't like each other, refuse to ever communicate or talk. And now suddenly they're actually at an event and they're supposed to both speak at the event. It's something they got to like figure out in their head and play nice, you would say, when they come into an event like this. But so I just prefaced that if you don't agree, if you don't like each other, you can still learn stuff from each other. And I just saw a real unity amongst the speakers. When we met with all of them, we talked about how the day was going to go and everything. And then we said a word of prayer there. And then, even at the beginning of the event, I said a word of prayer before we started the event, the whole 2 days. And it was just a great couple days with everybody, solid, packed. I hate wasting time. I thought 30 minutes was awesome between each speaker, and that's all the time they needed to get their point across. The audience was very energetic and engaged right from the beginning, which was super cool because they really welcomed every speaker, and no matter who it was or what business they were in, and we really pushed that they stay in the room and not be out in the halls talking. This year we did have vendors, and I think they were very successful too. People talking with them and sharing, and setting up calls and things for some sales maybe later that would benefit their businesses. We have awards for the franchisees every year. So, like the highest revenue, those with second locations and their highest revenue. Then we have like rookie of the year. We have the most improved franchisee of the year. Then we have an overall franchisee winner. And those are very unemotionally chosen. So of course the numbers winners, highest revenue, that's obvious. It's just numbers. But for the others, we just all put names out, and all of Augusta Nation was able to vote for the franchisee of the year. But some of the other positions, it's the winning prizes were from all of the coaches, um, talking together about the changes that they had seen in people, then Mike and I with them. And then we had some fun ones on the day with the franchisees and kind of like coach's pet. And then I had everybody at Command Center vote on who the who the best franchisee was to work with, professionalism, how they treat their customers, how they show up to appointments, if they are positive and easy to work with, and so that was crazy because there was a lot of names. They really loved the franchisees, and a lot of names came forward, and so I finally narrowed it down to one, and he was pretty surprised that he was chosen by Command Center. So we love the owners of Augusta Nation. It's always a time of like a lot of giving, sharing, and really taking on an empathy for all business owners, what they're going through. And there's really, you could do virtual events, but there's nothing like being there in person. And, for people to see when they see our team working together, all they ever see is on social media. And we usually hear from them. I'm thinking of joining Augusta, but I had to come and see if what I'm seeing on the screen, if these people are like that in person. And we've sold franchises just because they come and they see how our team is with each other, how we take care of each other, how we operate on stage and just communicate, work together, how we are with the franchisees, and that we really love them and we're really partners together doing something great. And when you see something like that, you want to be a part of it. And so once they see that, what you see is what you get and that we're no different when they meet us, then they want to be a part of it too. So we usually have a lot of calls after for people to ask more questions that they might have. The crazy thing is I almost didn't get to go. So I work out all the time and feel great, do great workouts. And I noticed a little funny feeling in my back and for like 2 weeks. And then suddenly it would start seizing up. I was like, whoa, I can hardly sit down. I'm going to switch chairs. Oh, I can hardly stand up. And so I did massage and stretched, kept working out. It was bearable. But then a day before, I had done our mountain run and thought I was good, thought I was fine. And then my back started to seize up. So it's like everything's so tight, and then it's like a band around your whole lower back, and it just seizes up. And the pain was excruciating. And I could go into massive detail, but couldn't get out of the bathtub, couldn't get off the floor, couldn't get out of bed, and I couldn't put any weight on either of my legs. And it was like, I know this is a muscular thing. I know over time it will heal. I know I can do heat and ice and ibuprofen and all that. But I was like, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm trying to pack. I'm trying to get every last thing our team needs. And I'm preparing to meet up with the franchisees to get everything ready the next day. And I was pretty worried because I couldn't move. So I didn't want to be a burden on the team and all that good stuff. So in the end, I ended up going. It was pretty rough, and I'm now starting to get a little better. But the team was amazing, helped me along when I couldn't do things, and I never take ibuprofen or Tylenol. So guess what? It works when you never take it. So that helped a little bit. So moving forward, there are certain things about that I think that were a struggle for the franchisees to come. The whole reason that we had this in Louisville, Kentucky on a Monday and Tuesday is because of Equip Expo. And my heart always goes out to those young kids like Mike used to be, mowing his lawn, having the whole neighborhood that's in his repertoire of customers that he couldn't drive, and he just went around the neighborhood and got business that way. When we went to Equip X the couple times before, a couple years before, these young guys would stand in line to talk to him. They'd be 13, 14, 15. And we realized they're never going to come to Washington State. They're not going to be allowed to travel. They're never going to be able to just afford to come up for the conference or have come to the summit or anything. So we thought, what if we brought it down there, and people that live in the South, they'd be able to just come over, couple days of the conference and then go straight into Equip Expo. So that was our plan, that we would try that. But it's in October, and that's a difficult time of year for a lot of business owners in our industry, because there's still leaf cleanups, there's still mowing projects, and to do it on a Monday and Tuesday is kind of inconvenient. So I know that if we did it a few years in a row by Equip Expo at that same time, that group would get bigger and bigger, but it's an inconvenience in our industry to really pull business owners away in October. So we'll probably go back to our winter. We usually do it in December or January, and then we'll can't give you too many secrets away, but we'll have a different venue. We're always thinking of trying to keep the cost down, but still make it a really nice event. We really respect all the people that come. And I think that in our industry, there's a lot of people that would think, like, say, an employee or a GM, they think, oh, I'm just a dumb um, mowing guy or something. They don't have enough respect for themselves, even. Our whole goal is to change the level of professionalism in the industry. So we want to give them a time that is where they feel special, respected. They work all the time, they're outside, they're dirty, they grab a burger, everything's on the run. And so this is a way to be together. I dress up. I I make it so that it's a very professional event, so that for them, they can come and feel valued, and they are valued, and to recognize that their position as business owners and professionals, they don't need to look down on that. But some of the wealthiest people are people that have built service businesses, and it is not impossible to be very successful. And so I think that it is a blessing for people to come and have those times. We heard from people that it was the best event they had ever been to. And I think it's because we put them first. What did they want to hear? What would be best for them? We did a live C-suite podcast, and we talked about what kind of questions would they want asked, what kind of things would they want to hear about, and that would help them the most, even just watching an entertaining podcast type thing. And so we put questions out there, and we our thought process was, well, I would have loved to hear that if I had questions at an event. So we would ask each other what we thought the audience would want to hear. So when you always think of your audience and what they would want to hear and do everything carefully that way, you plan your talks, your speeches, your MC, the whole works with them in mind, it's going to be a pretty successful event. So I am really privileged to be a part of this great team and to build something and to serve together. We can't, in our wildest imaginations, know where it's going to go by next year. We would have never thought in 10 years that we would be where we are. And it's really taking one day at a time, grinding it out, working with your team, always seeking to be better tomorrow than you are today, leaving everything better than you arrived at your office with your people, leaving people that you talk to better, more encouraged. And it's important, even at Command Center, with me running the team here, that you always stay humble, teachable, and there are specific people I can even look at in our organization that really do the deep work to change themselves, and without even them telling me what they listen to, what they feed on, what they it's just like, you can tell if somebody drastically overeats all the time or if they're fit. It's the same way with the kind of content that you bring in. Are you trying to be better? Are you trying to change? Are you trying to be the kind of person that can bring more value to the world and to the people around you? I can tell by looking at employees, all people around me. I remember I was at an event once, and I met a lot of people I used to know, and I text Mike. I'm like, "Whoa! I just stepped back in time. It seems like nobody's changed in all these years." And he texts back, "97% of the population have no desire to change." And you just think that the people that you're with and you work with that are all trying to improve and be better and hold themselves to a high standard, start to assume that everybody does that, but it's not true. And so I can really tell from my team who takes the time to grow and change. And being a part of Augusta Nation, being challenged by the owners, being pushed to be better. When they give, I wouldn't call them complaints, when they give constructive feedback or what they're needing to see or what they don't like, we're trying to change and be better and recognize that when they're frustrated or upset that they are people also, and we all are in this together for better or for worse. When they sign a franchisee agreement for 10 years, that's a long time of a relationship, and we want it to be a good experience for them and vice versa. So let me see, is there anything else that you would want to know from the trip? It's definitely more of a challenge for all of our team to go somewhere else and have everything shipped, because in the end, some of it didn't get shipped. And we were trying to get all of our stuff to get our banners up. We have to have, food and drinks and bars and all stuff for us even to be shipped. And it's quite a bit different than having it here where we can run to the store and get things in a big event center like that. It had some logistic challenges. So doing it closer to home would be a lot more beneficial, and just easier all the way around. But I hope that all of you franchisees that were not able to be there, that you really try to come next time. It can't be understated how important it is to have that connection and encouragement. And then the relationships you form with other franchisees at these events, um, they're really like lifetime relationships that you build. And then for other viewers, I would encourage them to come anyway. There's business owners in our area, and they text me what needing stuff while I was gone, and I text them back, oh, I'm sorry, I was on stage, I couldn't respond right away. And they're saying, man, I wish we could have come. And so it doesn't have to be in our industry. It can be any other service industry or even small businesses or big businesses. There's so much value that people could have got from just being there and being in the atmosphere of the other people and other business owners, and just some of the keynotes Mike gave. And those who have listened to Mike's keynotes in the past, they would see a lot more structure and just the effort that he put into all of those pre pre-event was pretty phenomenal. I had never seen him put that much effort into speaking and recognizing like the responsibility, that all these people have sacrifices they've made to come and be there, and the confidence they have in you, how important it is that you also prepare to serve and to give to them. So he did a great job, and our team did a great job, and I was very proud of them. And that, if you have any questions, you can let me know what it's like to be in this great Augusta nation and work with these amazing owners. And you'll hear all about them on the show, as I'll have some great people coming up pretty soon for you to that we can share with you. But this is just a little bit of a recon from our time this year in October 2023 for our conference and our summit. So conference is for franchisees, summit is for all of the community, business community that we put on an event for them. So it's just going to get better every time. So I encourage you to always try to be there if you can. And our team is always here for you to communicate. Liz at AugustaLawnCareServices.com. And then, of course, we have MikeAndes.com for all of the things that we offer. And we just love having you all a part of what we got going on. So thank you for listening. Have a great day.